That was a long delay. But here we are. And of course, I have not updated my information here. Oh, I don't think that's how you spell Quentin. Sorry, Quentin. But we're going to have Reese again on Yi. So Reese is back on stream here against Quentin playing some Ahri. After borrowing my Ahri deck a few weeks ago and winning with it. Quentin's been on the Ahri train ever since. I love it. But these players are both 1-1. We are not at the top table this round. That's okay. Our 5, this is not usually something that happens here, but our top 5 tables tonight were all either Kaisa mirror matches or Kaisa on one side of the table. And considering rounds 1 and 2 were both Kaisa matches, I decided, nah. But we're getting started here. GG from our players. Reese and Quentin, I think a lot of our players are friends, but I think Reese and Quentin are like friends outside of the context of Nexus Nights. So I'm sure they've played a plenty, but it looks like Reese won the die roll, so he was on the play and dropped a Potting Poro into Quentin's turn 1, where he channeled a few runes and threw down a Ravenbloom student. Going to push for a quick capture there on the Grove and move to 1 up. Oh, I'm just not doing a job here. There we go. Round 3. That's what we want. And we also don't want that wind marker on Quinn. Foxfire. And Reese considers. Oh, I don't think you want a wind wall to save a Poro, Reese. Discipline instead. Draw the card. Not enough to save the Poro. Probably hoping to draw into a Defy or something maybe. But Ravenbloom's going to capture, swing the board state in the other direction. And Quentin's going to pass it back over to Reese. Going to channel up to 6 runes and draw a card. First mate. See what Quentin can get going here with 7 runes. Got a green matchup here between Ahri and Yi. Probably see lots of interaction. But for now, Ahri's just going to move in and take that point. And that is going to have to be something Reese answers immediately. Or this game is going to get out of control real quick. And I don't know that Reese has any immediate answers. Primal Rage. Or wait, Primal. Not Primal Rage. Primal Strength. That's the one. Me and card names, man. Tries to defy, wind walls. And did what he needed to do there. Exactly what he needed to do. Knock that green Ahri into the trash before she could start scoring multiple points on that hold every turn and jumping into a lead that E couldn't come back from. Finder Center, the expensive variety, the full price. I think you're into another Finder Center. Gonna do it again? Yep, Finder Center. Call this Ahri Ramp. It's the hot new meta. That Find Your Center is just going to vibe for a bit. Assert its dominance. All right, he heard me. Quentin, a man after my own heart. Drinking some gamer fuel out there. Some Mountain Dew straight from the tap. Eggplant coming down to reinforce. And we're going to pull the first mate back. Well, boy, oh boy, Quentin's got some runes now. I think he's sitting at 11. 9, 10, 11. Yep. Quentin had to count as well. So 8 and 2. That's going to be a kitty cat. So here comes the Watcher. Run over that Tasty Fey folk. Reese is tapped out, so nothing you can do about that. The Eggplant wasn't that much smaller than it normally is, though, thanks to that E Legend ability. Oh, and the Charm, too. Whew. Pretty good turn from Quentin there. See if Reese can turn it around like he did last turn, or 2 turns ago, I should say, when he took out the Ahri. See a White Flame Protector in hand, but no great targets for it at the moment. Big tree comes in. Quentin's sitting on 2 runes. Reese sitting on more. Going to preemptively discipline. Try and resolve that to draw a card. Quentin's going to do the same, but bury it with a Defy. So that discipline resolves. It takes him to 4-3 on the Conquer. Oh, and the hidden card. What could it be? Is it 8 and 2 again? It is 8 and 2 again. Kitty cat number 2. Reese again is tapped out. So no interaction here. Quentin's free to do what Quentin wants to do, but goes ahead. Moves in and takes the free point. And Watchful Sentry chooses to keep it back. I believe Reese is at 8 runes. Maybe 9. 6, 7, 8, 9 runes. Sitting with a white flame in hand. A discipline. Two white flames, a discipline. Oh, I almost saw what the other two were. 7 and 1. So the Ye's coming out. And it's going to go pick a fight with the cat. This time it's Quentin's turn to be tapped out and not be able to do a thing about it. Discipline. Talking about the hidden card. Like I said, I'm pretty sure these two are friends outside of the game, so they're probably talking about play lines and... Oh, Judge. Yep, that was the judge call. Was asking if, even though the Zonia's was at the other battlefield, if he could flip it to save ye, and the answer is yes. You can flip a hidden card anytime as a reaction. As soon as that Zonia's is flipped, it's a gear at a battlefield, which means as an immediate cleanup action, it moves back to base. And then as soon as he dies, that death is, the Zonia uses its effect as a replacement effect for the death and pulls the Yi on back. It was probably a question because it was at the other battlefield. Can I flip it? Yes, you can flip. You can flip cards anytime. If it's something hidden and targeted, it can't target anything at the other battlefield, but Zonia's does not target. Similar to cards like Consult the Past, which is hidden. You can flip that at any time, even during a showdown at the other battlefield, because Consult the Past does not target. So you can flip it and draw cards. But catching back up on the action, Quentin ended up taking back that other battlefield with Watchful Sentry, Sprite Mother, and Sprite. Quentin counting out a whole bunch of runes. I think we're going to have one of those white flame come out and make that Yi real big. Yi smash. But Quentin is a blue player, green in this game. Green player with runes available, so you can bet there's going to be some interaction here. Retreats the Sprite Mother back to hand. Sprite Mother always feels great to retreat. Bouncing a card with a enter the battlefield trigger, a la Magic the Gathering, always feels great. All right, Quentin draws the card and passes it back over and says, "Yep, you got it." And Yi and Reese, piloting it well, is going to take game numero uno. As we move over to sideboarding. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't been here all night, it's good to see you. It says right down there. I'm Art with Impact Gaming Center over here in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis, home of all your gaming needs in the Midwest area. One of the biggest shops in the country, where we host every card game, miniature game imaginable. Whether you like One Piece, Riftbound, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Gundam, Card Fight, so on, so on, so on. Or if you're a miniature gamer, Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Blood Bowl, all sorts of historical war games. Got people running that kind of stuff in here every night of the week. If you're ever curious, you can check out our website at impactgamingcenter.gg. Check out our events page where you will see every single event we run every night. Get an idea of when we do what in case you decide to come up and join us. And if you can't, if you're not from the area and you're just tuning in on the stream or checking this out on YouTube, you can always look us up at impactgamingcenter.gg, like I mentioned. And if you're not interested in the events page, you can check out the store on there and see our full store inventory. We ship anywhere in the country with prices competitive with Amazon, Miniature Market, TCG Player, all the big names, especially on our board games. We have great deals on board games. If you're a board game player, check us out. But our players are sideboarding up. Reese has stepped away for a minute. Don't know what he's doing. But if Quentin's not worried about it, I'm not worried about it. But they're figuring out their sideboards, getting their battlefields set up, so on and so forth. But if you're joining us on Twitch tonight and haven't tossed us a follow yet, please do so we can keep bringing you some Riftbound content every week. We stream our Riftbound Nexus Night every Thursday at about 6:15 Central Standard Time. 3 rounds of Riftbound every single week. And the following week, if you miss us on Twitch, select rounds go up on YouTube. Typically at least 2 rounds of the 3 a week end up on YouTube as videos where you can watch them anytime. Don't forget, if you are joining us on the YouTube side, to follow us there. Leave us a comment, a like, subscribe if you're feeling generous. All those things do help us a lot. We track all our metrics, look at all that stuff, because we stream all sorts of games. We stream Pokemon on Tuesdays. We stream Modern on Fridays. Magic the Gathering, Modern, on Fridays. And we stream all of our big tournaments. So our 1Ks, our win-a-boxes, our RCQs, things like that. We stream those as well. Those are always on Saturdays. And this coming up Saturday, so 2 days from now, we will be streaming our regional qualifier, or RCQ for Magic the Gathering, which is Sealed Avatar. Spicy. It's going to be a lot of fun, so hope you'll tune in for that as well. But Quentin's waiting for Reese to get back. In the meantime, we will jump back over to the table. I don't have much else for you at the moment, other than to say thank you for joining us. Let's jump back over to the battlefield. There we go. As we wait for Reese to come on back and I get a drink of water. Good timing from Reese right as I finished getting a drink. It looked like he just had to take a phone call. But not a big deal, especially now that, if you didn't know, Riftbound has moved to 60-minute rounds, up from 50. So we're at 60-minute rounds now, plus 3 turns once time has been called. So a bit of a change there. You can see why they did it. Riftbound is definitely a longer form game. Having played Magic myself for 30 years, pretty much since the very beginning of Magic, I don't know that I agree with the 60 minutes. I don't personally think Riftbound, having played a lot of Riftbound even before the global release, using proxies and such with the local group here, I don't know that I agree that Riftbound needs to be 60 minutes. I think it's about as long as Magic the Gathering. I think the issue is just that it is a complex game. People are still new to it, and so people are playing a little more slowly than they might play Magic. I think 6 months from now, a year from now, I hope 6 months from now, a year from now, they're going to revisit that and drop it back down to 50 minutes. I think that's a perfectly reasonable amount of time. But 60 isn't the end of the world. 60 plus 3 compared to 50 plus 5, you're probably realistically talking an extra 5 minutes per round, especially at big tournaments where at least one table is going to go to time. But we're going to get started. Quentin, of course, going to be on the play. Ahri wants to be on the play as much as possible. Drops a turn 1 Sentry, which is faced off by a Poro from Reese, as we are already back to Quentin for his turn 2, 4 runes. And see what we conquer first. Kind of assuming he's going to go and take that Dreaming Tree, but he is thinking about it. Actually chooses not to, but does move him to 1 regardless. And now does he do the control player say go with 4 untapped lands? I mean, runes. They're totally different. Nope. Instead, he's going to tap out. Tap out for... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure what we're tapping out for. Lecturing Yordle to draw 1 makes a little more sense. Leave up Defy mana, runes. Assuming that Quentin even has Defy in hand. Should probably at least always pretend you do. But the pro is going to take and move us to 1-all. As he figures out what else he wants to do here on his second turn. Thinking about some charm, it looks like. Probably considering, do I want this charm to get defied? I think even if I have a charm, I'm sorry, even if I have a defy here from Quentin, I don't think I defy it. I personally played a lot of Ahri. Unless the game state really kind of demands it, I'm not going to burn a defy to save a 2 or 3 cost unit. I'm going to be using it to save things like my Ahri, my Thousand Tail Watchers, my heavy hitters. But we jump back over to Quentin now, still tied up 1-1, but I think it should definitely be 2-1 because of that hold. And here comes Sona, my favorite card in the game. Rainbloom student. I'm going to yell at him to maintain game state here in a second. Yep, here I go. I almost made it out the door before I saw the 2-2. But yeah, that Sona being down always makes a huge difference. Sona is a must-answer card. You cannot just let her run rampant and hold points and free up 4 runes every single turn, but she's going to at least live this one. As a control player at heart, a blue player at heart, man, nothing feels better than just having a Sona sit on a point. It is the best feeling in the game. Here comes Ahri out of the champion zone. Interesting. We don't just jam her on the point with Sona. That may hint at a lack of interaction in Quentin's hand, that he doesn't have the ability to defend her. Yordle's going to move up, though. And pass turn. Doesn't look like Quentin's going to push the issue right now. He is ahead half a point, if you want to think about turn structure like that. Looking at a white flame in hand, a discipline, 2 disciplines. Maybe another, I can't see. Can't see what else is hiding in there. Oh, a defy, I think. Discipline on the board to draw a couple cards. Looks like might have drawn a Kiana. Yep, here comes Kiana. Might be a Zonia's in hand. Yep, definitely is. Zonia's. At least one more discipline we saw. Reese gives it some thought and says, go ahead, leaving 2 runes available. So Quentin can start his next turn here. Man, that already would have felt real good sitting on that point right there. But need to ready up our other units there. We also need to score a point for holding. So we'll remember that. Already thinking about going and picking a fight. Okay, there's our point. Remember that. Just need to remember that that Yordle and that Sona are also ready. Reese pointing out keywords, pointing out his Yi ability on guard. Discipline. I'd say that's probably going to get defied. Defy, yep. Big. Now that's a defy play, like I was talking about earlier. That's when you want to be burning your counter spells, is to defend your units that matter. Successfully conquers, moves to 5. Are we going to reinforce her? We are. Yordle. Draw a card. Probably going to be happy with that past turn and untap all the runes. Yeah, keep reinforcing. Keep throwing them in. Don't have to worry about Thousand Tail. Chooses to pass it back over and have all those tasty runes available. Have I mentioned how much I love Sona? Draws the Wind Wall. So got to defy a Wind Wall in hand, a White Flame Protector, a Primal, and a Zonia's, I believe. I believe that's the entire hand. Reese thinking about it. I think what he's probably considering is, do I White Flame here and make Kiana go smash face while I'm staring down an Ahri deck with 7 available runes? Because if he commits the White Flame and the Kiana here and it doesn't go his way because of interaction Quentin has, that's pretty much GG. But I'm thinking Reese is about to say, if you have it, you have it. If you've got enough to push me away, you've got it. White Flame. And here she comes. Goes after the Sona and the Yordle. What does Quentin have? Has nothing. So if he had the resources to save those there, he would have. So Kiana conquers. Gonna get the score. Gonna get the Kiana trigger. He's probably thinking about what he wants to do. Counts as runes. Cards in hand. He has Defy, he has Windwall. Chooses to draw a card off the Kiana. Okay. Draws a Hungry Tree. And Quentin takes a look at what he's got. I was looking at hands, and I did not notice if Quentin took his point for holding. I think he did. Hide a card. I think we all know what it is. Fairly confident it is the only hidden card in Yi's deck. Quentin jumps up to 6. And Quentin is 1 rune off Time Warp. Not that Time Warp would win him the game, but he'd be close, depending on, well, we know that Reese has the Defy in hand, so not that you can defy a Time Warp. Don't at me, YouTube. Calm down. That's not what I'm saying. But in terms of taking Kiana off that point, having Defy available on Reese's side to stop any interaction buffs and whatnot is good. But instead we Thousand Tail. Didn't know Quentin was hiding that, so that's pretty strong. So we're obviously, there's nothing Reese is going to be able to do here to stop this, I don't think. Now with 1 rune available, he does have the Zonias hidden. So I'm sure we're gonna see the flipped Zonias and the Kiana pulled back to base. Quentin's going to jump up to 7. Yep, I was going to say, and now I just pile some units in. You only got to hold 1 of these points. No Sona, though, and that's big. Because now Quentin has 1 rune to work with, so no matter what Quentin tries to do, as long as Reese holds up Defy runes, he's in good shape. But he does have to take both of these points here. He does have another White Flame Protector. But even that is not going to be enough to take both. So you can attack with 1 White Flame, and you can White Flame the Kiana to attack one of the points, but the unbuffed White Flame is not going to be able to get over the Might barrier. Though, how many runes does Reese have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's tough. I think Reese is doing the math now. I am not doing the math that stringently in my head, but I'm pretty sure Reese is like 1 rune short of being able to make this work. Maybe 2 runes short of being able to make this work if you want to keep up Defy. So I think he's thinking about it. I think he's figuring out if he has any play line here where he does not lose. Yeah, Reese has 8 runes. Realistically has 7 because he has to keep up Defy. It's that 1 rune sitting there for Quentin. Does matter. But yeah, no outs there for Reese. Couldn't make the math work. So Quentin is going to take game number 2. As these players in our final round, round 3 of our Riftbound Nexus Nights, are now 1 game apiece in round 3, going into game 3 to determine the match. These players are 1-1 on the night, so we're not at the top table tonight, but thought bringing a Yi and an Ahri matchup would be a little more interesting than bringing a third Kaisa game to the stream tonight. And as much as I'm an anti-meta player, it makes me hate saying that all of our top undefeated tables tonight were Kaisa tables, but they are. But it looks like Reese is going to readjust his sideboard maybe a little bit, or at least think about it. Clintfell says, we appreciate that. Yeah, Ahri, I'm sorry. Kaisa. Yeah, she's exhausting. The thing is, Kaisa players, I mean, even Kaisa players don't like Kaisa. Like, pretty much all the Kaisa players I know admit they play Kaisa because Kaisa is good and Kaisa wins. I mean, not always, obviously. Annie won the regional, and, you know, Kaisa's not unbeatable. She's just, you know, she is the strongest deck. And she's not terribly complex to play. And you're playing Delver, you're playing Tempo. So old school Magic players, of which that is a large portion of Riftbound players, especially the more competitive Riftbound players, are almost all Magic players, either X or current. And so Kaisa is not the most, I mean, Kaisa players will tell you, Kaisa players that play Magic the Gathering will tell you she is not terribly interesting to play. And I can't pretend that she's the most interesting thing to watch either. Her play lines are pretty straightforward. Not to say there's not intricacies to her play lines and that there's not skill expression when playing Kaisa. There certainly is, but it's a formula that's been solved by Magic players for 20 years. But all right, let's get some battlefields going here. Players are cutting up each other's decks and moving into game 3. I think we're going to see Reese go first here. I think Reese knows that while Yi is decently fine on either the play or the draw, that Ahri is significantly worse on the draw. So Reese is probably going to be on the play here. Poro, Tasty Fey Folk, Kiana, White Flame. Not the best opening hand. Keeps the White Flame, draws into another Tasty Fey Folk. Ugh. Not a terrible hand, but not the best hand. But we get a Poro come down. Quentin's going to channel 3 runes and get us started. Turn 1 Ahri. Draws the Defy. The hand starts to get a little better. Sabotage. For our Magic players out there that maybe aren't super familiar with all the cards yet, Sabotage, you can just strike that name out and rewrite Duress in there. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Reese's phone's getting blown up. Quentin's going to give it some thought before deciding, yeah, I'll pick a fight. Open runes on all sides right now. Reese, I think, decides to play the one little bit of interaction he's got there. Discipline Defy. Yeah, taking out that Ahri is... That's a big deal. It's a big swing in Reese's direction. Reese is at 2 points. Did successfully hold with the Poro. Being up 2 points and killing the Ahri is big. Going to play the Pit Rookie and buff the Poro. And pass back over with 2 available runes. Not a ton you can do with it. But doesn't really matter when you're up 2 points. Quentin says, well, I'm not doing that again. So I'm going to start getting some points on the board while I can. Boy, losing your champ Ahri that early, though, is tough. Definitely was a gambit picking a fight there. Reese basically needed, he had a 4-card hand. He basically needed exactly what he had, which was a buff spell and counter spell backup. So I think for Quentin, it was a, show me moment. And he did. Ravenbloom student. And a Sona. There's my girl. Can the Sona stay alive long enough to make the difference? Let's find out. Quentin's posture not giving me a lot of confidence, but it is getting late here. And I can speak for myself when I say I am tired today, ladies and gentlemen. Our stream booth is very warm lit, very cozy, warm. It makes me sleepy. Oh, there they go. Oh. Yikes. Quentin had the Sona to make it look like he had some interaction, but Pit Rookie just primals, goes in and eats a 4-1. Yeah, Quentin's shaking his head. I mean, I can't see Quentin's hand, but even regardless of what's in Quentin's hand, Quentin is in a really bad spot here. It is not looking good. Unaccelerated 1,000-tail watcher. Ugh. I mean, that's a death knell if you've ever seen one. An unaccelerated 1,000-tail watcher when you have no other units to even take advantage of it. I mean, that's just a 7 for 7. Losing the Ahri, then losing the Sona, being behind 5 points. I don't want to say it can't be done, but as an Ahri player myself, I would be impressed because I know Quentin's list very similar to mine. Might even be the same as mine. I'm not sure. I don't think there's any outs here. Unless Reese were just drawing dead, but I mean Reese is just sitting with 5 cards in hand, plenty of runes. Six cards in hand, plenty of runes, interaction, more units. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's just happy to pass. Try and make Quentin commit, potentially overcommit, and just grind Quentin out of the game at this point. Quentin knows he's got to get the pour off the point, but that's a buffed solo Poro holding on, defending a point with a Yi legend. That Poro is a whole lot bigger than you think he is. And when you're staring down a Yi with 7 available runes, 6 cards in hand, you pretty much have to assume one of the 6 is a buff interaction of some sort, and one of the 6 is a counterspell. So you're looking at having to commit probably 3 cards to win that fight with that Poro. And Quentin does have 4 cards in hand, I believe, but they'd have to be the exact right ones. Another unaccelerated Thousand Tail Watcher. At least this time he has a unit that can take advantage of it. If he's going to shake that Poro off the point, that's the way to do it. Oh my goodness. But I think I see an On Guard, a Discipline, Counterspell backup. Oh my lord. Yeah, Discipline. Into a Ruined Prison, I think. Yeah, I mean, let's throw her down. On Guard. Yeah. Quentin nods. That is pretty much it. That is, I think that was the only potential out if Reese didn't have, and it's not even like Reese was like lucky or anything. I mean, he had he had 6 cards in hand, having with some of them cantripping themselves. So yeah, Quentin, both players, I think, doing what they need to do here is just Quentin fell behind early and has not had the opportunity to reclaim any lost ground. But Reese is going to play down an accelerated Tasty Fey Folk and throw it into the Ravenbloom Student. And go to 8. If you weren't watching, didn't see the battlefields, we are going to 9 this game. And he's going to pass it over and say, yeah, if you can somehow shake me off both these points, go ahead. But yeah. Time Warp, Ravenbloom Student, Lecturing Yordle. Yeah, there was nothing there. Facing down a Kiana, another Discipline, Wind Wall. I can't see what else is in there. But yeah, I mean, there was just no shot for Quentin there at the end. Reese played very, very well. Drew well. I mean, definitely won that game pretty decisively. So good game to Reese and good game to Quentin as well. No misplays or anything. Just sometimes that's the way it goes. Your opponent plays well, gets the cards they need, and beats you fair and square. So GG to both these players. But that is going to be it for round 3 for tonight. Where's the commentator face cam? There it is. Hey, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. If you joined us for tonight's Riftbound Nexus Nights here at Impact Gaming Center. I've been Art with you in the booth, bringing you some little lower energy narration commentary tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm beat. I am tired. I don't know why. Slept fine, but I am a tired guy tonight. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't followed us before on Twitch or if you're watching us on YouTube, please toss us a follow so we can keep bringing you Riftbound content every week. We stream Riftbound every Thursday night. It's starting around 6:15, 6:10 Central Standard Time. And if Riftbound's not your thing, we stream Pokemon on Tuesdays, Magic, Modern on Fridays, and all of our big 1Ks, regional qualifiers, all of those things on Saturdays. We stream an average of like 2 Saturdays a month. This Saturday, we're going to have our regional qualifier, which is Sealed Avatar. So that's going to be cool because Avatar is an awesome limited set. I mean, it's an awesome set in general, I think. Regardless of what you think of Universes Beyond, Avatar is a really cool mechanical set. And limited Avatar is super fun. So being able to do a regional qualifier with some sealed Avatar is going to be a good time. Hope you'll join us on Saturday for that. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to check us out at impactgamingcenter.gg, where you can check out our events page or our full store inventory. We ship anywhere in the world. And don't forget to toss us a follow. But otherwise, I've been Art with Impact Gaming Center. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope to see you next week, or I hope to see you in YouTube in the comments. But otherwise, thanks again. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.